Zilu asked about the art of ruling. The master said, lead the people and labor together with them. Zilu asked for more. The master said, labor indefatigably. Zhonggong, who became minister of the Ji family, asked about the art of ruling. The master said, lead your subordinate officials, pardon their minor faults and promote those who have talent. Zhonggong asked how to discover talents. The master said, select those whom you know. As for those whom you know not, do you think others will neglect them? Zilu said, the Prince of Wei is waiting for you to rule over his country. What will you do first? The master said, first of all, things must be properly named. Zilu said, how can you be so far from reality? Why should things be properly named first of all? The master said, how rude you are, Zilu. A cultured man will keep silent on what he does not know. If things are not properly named, then what you say about them cannot be right. If what you say is not right, how can you accomplish a task? If you cannot accomplish a task, how can ritual and music be properly performed? If ritual and music cannot be properly performed, how can punishment be adequately carried out? If punishment cannot be adequate, how can people know right from wrong? Therefore, a cultured man will first of all name the things properly so that what he says may be right. If what he says is right, then it can be properly carried out. Whatever a cultured man says must not be improper and incorrect, that is all I mean. When Fan Qi asked about farming, the master said, I am no better than an old farmer. When asked about gardening, the master said, I am no better than an old gardener. When Fan Qi had gone out, the master said, Fan Qi is indeed an uncultured man. If the ruler loves the rights, no people would be disrespectful. If the ruler loves what is right, no people would be disobedient. If the ruler loves the truth, no people would disregard reality. If such is the case, then people from all the corners of the earth would come to him with their babies strapped on their back. Why need he learn farming? If a man versed in 300 poems, said the master, cannot discharge the office entrusted to him, nor can he fulfill the mission when sent abroad, what then is the use of being wide-read? An upright ruler, said the master, will be obeyed though he gives no order. If he is not upright, he will not be obeyed though he gives orders. Lu and Wei, said the master, our brother states, neither is better nor worse than the other in politics. The master said of Jing, a scion of the ducal family of Wei, he knew well how to lead an economic life. When he began to have means, he said that he had almost enough. When he had a little more, he said that he was almost full. When he was rich, he said that it could not be better. The master went his way to Wei, and Ran Yu drove the carriage for him. The master said, what a large population. Ran Yu said, what should be done to such a large population? The master said, enrich them. Ran Yu said, what should be done when they are enriched? The master said, educate them. If any prince should employ me, said the master, 1 year would be enough to show what I can do, and 3 years would show what I can accomplish. If good men, said the master, were to rule the state for 100 years, violence and slaughter would be done away with. But how could it come true? Even a truly royal ruler, said the master, would need a generation to make virtue prevail among the people. If the ruler is right, said the master, he need not worry about how to rule the state. If he is not right, how can he put other people right? Once when Ran Yu came back from court, the master said, why are you so late? Ranyu said, there were political affairs. The master said, it must have been only administrative business. If there had been political affairs, I should have been consulted, though I am not in office now. Duke Ding asked whether there was a word which could make a country prosperous. Confucius said, a word could hardly do that. But I have heard that it is difficult to be a prince, and not easy to be a minister. If a ruler really understands that, can we not say that a word may nearly prosper a country? Duke Ding asked then whether there was a word which could ruin a country. Confucius said, a word could hardly do that. But I have heard that a prince finds no pleasure but in that none oppose to what he says. If what he says is right and opposed by none, it is very good. But if what he says is wrong and opposed by none, then is it not a word which may nearly ruin a country? The Duke of Shi asked about the art of ruling. The master said, make the near happy to stay and the far off happy to come. Xia, who became governor of Jifu, asked about the art of ruling. The master said, be neither hasty nor partial. For haste makes waste, and partiality loses entirety. The Duke of Shi said to Confucius, a straightforward man in my country accused his father when he had stolen a sheep. Confucius said, a straightforward man in mine is different. The father would conceal his son's misconduct, and the son would conceal his father's. In this we see the relation of a family. Fan Shi asked about the good man. The master said, a good man respects himself in private life, and respects others in public life. Trustworthy in business, he remains the same though among uncivilized tribes. Zigong asked what kind of man may be called an official. The master said, a man ashamed of his misbehavior and loyal to the prince's commission when sent abroad may be called an official. Zigong said, may I venture to ask what kind of man may rank next? The master said, a man commended by his relatives for filial piety, and by his fellow villagers for deference to the elders. When asked what ranks still next, the master said, a man faithful in word and in deed, busy all day long like common. People of lower class may perhaps rank next. When asked how about the officials in the government, the master said, pooh! They are mere thimblefuls, not worth taking into account. If I cannot find men, said the master, who follow the middle way, I would rather have the radical and the moderate. The radical would advance and the moderate would not do anything wrong. The master said, it is said in the South that a man without constancy cannot make a good witch doctor. Well said. It is said in the book of change inconstancy will lead to disgrace. The master said this simply discourages the inconstant from initiating into witchcraft. A cultured man, said the master, may disagree to reach an agreement, while an uncultured man dare not disagree but agrees without understanding. Zigong asked, what do you think of a man loved by all his countrymen? The master said, I do not think he is good enough. When asked about a man disliked by all his countrymen, the master said, I am not sure he is bad. I would prefer a man loved by the good countrymen and disliked by the bad ones. It is easy to serve, said the master, but difficult to please a cultured man, for he will not be pleased but in the right way, and he employs men according to their abilities. It is difficult to serve, but easy to please an uncultured man, for he may be pleased though not in the right way, but he expects the employed equal to everything. A cultured man, said the master, is dignified and not proud, while an uncultured man is proud and not dignified. Strong and steady, said the master, wooden and wordless, such a man is nearly a good man. Zilu asked what kind of man might be called a cultured man. The master said he should be helpful and peaceful, helpful to friends and peaceful among brothers. The people, said the master, trained by good teachers for 7 years, may be employed in war. It would be a useless sacrifice, said the master, to employ untrained people in war. Yuan Xian asked about shame. The master said, it would be a shame to get the same pay when the state goes on the wrong way as when it goes on the right way. When asked whether it is benevolent to control oneself and not to boast of oneself, and to be free from resentment and greediness, the master said, it would be difficult to do so, but I do not know whether it could be called benevolence. An intellectual, said the master, indulged in a comfortable life could not be called an intellectual. When the state goes on the right way, said the master, one should be honest in word and in deed. When it goes on the wrong way, one should be honest in deed but cautious in word. A virtuous man, said the master, will say what is right, but one who says what is right may not be a virtuous man. A benevolent man will be brave, but a brave man may not be benevolent. Nangongqua asked Confucius why the best archer and the hero who overturned a boat both died a tragical death, while the 2 cultivators of the land became the rulers of the state. The master made no reply. When Nangongqua was out, the master said, this is indeed a cultured man. He loves virtue above strength. A cultured man, said the master, may fall short of virtue, but none of the uncultured men will love virtue. Could there be love, said the master, which demands no work? Could there be loyalty which demands no instruction? Before an order is issued, said the master, Bai Chen made the draft, Shi Shu checked it, Ziyu the diplomat amended it, and Zi Chan of the East Village elaborated it. When asked about Zi Chan, the master said, he is a kind man. When asked about Zi Shi, he merely said, that man, that man. When asked about Guanzhong, he said, he is a personage. For he has deprived the Bo family of 300 villages, and the head of the Bo family lived on coarse food without a word of complaint till he grew old and toothless. Poverty without complaints, said the master, is more difficult than wealth without pride. Meng Gongqiao would be a better official in such big families as Zhao and Wei than a minister in such small states as Teng or Shui. When Zilu asked what an accomplished man should be like, the master said, a man wise as Zhang Wuzhong, desire-free as Meng Gongqiao, brave as Bian Zhuangzi, and artful as Ran Qiu may be considered as an accomplished man if he is cultivated in ritual and music. He then added, what is the need for an accomplished man of today to have all these things? If he should prefer the proper to the profit, risk his life in face of danger, and never forget a promise made long ago, I think he is good enough to be called an accomplished man. The master asked Gong Mingjia about his master Gong Shuwenzi, is it true that your master neither spoke nor laughed nor took? Gong Mingjia said, the man who told you that was exaggerating. My master spoke when people were not tired of what he said. He laughed when he was happy and people were not tired of his laughter. He took what was right to take when people were not displeased with what he took. The master said, was it so? Can it have been so? Zhang Wuzhong, said the master, occupied the fief of Fang and demanded the Duke of Lu to allow his brother Wei to take over the fief. Though he said no pressure was used, yet I do not believe it. Duke Wen of Jin, said the master, was tactful and not upright, while Duke Huan of Qi was upright and tactless. Zilu said Duke Huan of Qi asked the state of Lu to put to death his elder brother Jiao. Jiao's master Zhao Hu followed Jiao in death, but Guan Zhong did not. Was Guan Zhong not short of virtue? The master said Duke Huan assembled 9 times the rulers of all the states without resorting to his war chariots, and it was on the strength of Guan Zhong. What is virtue if this is not? Zigong said, was Guan Zhong not short of virtue? When Duke Huan put Prince Jiao to death, he did not die with him, but became prime minister to Duke Huan. The master said, when Guan Zhong was prime minister, he helped Duke Huan to rule over all the princes of the state, unified the kingdom and benefit the people up to the present day. Without Guan Zhong, we might have been conquered by uncivilized tribes with disheveled hair and in barbarian dress. Would you expect from him as ordinary people to die in a ditch without leaving a name behind? Gong Shu Wenzi had an officer called Sun promoted to the rank of minister, as high as himself, and through his own recommendation. Hearing of this, the master said Gong Shu Wenzi is worthy of his name of a cultured man. 1. The master was speaking about the corruption of Duke Ling of Wei, when Ji Kong asked how the duke did not lose his state since he was so corrupt. The master said, he had 3 good ministers, Zhong Shuyu in charge of foreign affairs, Shi Tuo in charge of civil service, and Gong Sun Jia in command of his armies. How could he lose his state? One who exaggerates, said the master, will find it difficult for his deeds to agree with his words. When Qin Hengzi murdered Duke Jian of Qi, Confucius took a bath and went to court to inform Duke Ai of Lu that Qin Hengzi had slain his prince and begged that forces be sent to punish him. The duke said, inform the chiefs of the 3 families. Confucius said, as I am in the retinue of His Highness, I consider it my duty to inform him of the murder. But I was told to inform the chiefs of the 3 families. Then he went to the 3 chiefs and informed them of the matter, but they refused the petition. Confucius said, as I am in the retinue of the duke, I consider it my duty to inform them. Zilu asked how to serve the prince. The master said, do not say what is contrary to your thoughts, but you may openly express your disagreement. A cultured man, said the master, goes up while an uncultured man goes down. In old days, said the master, men learned to improve themselves. Nowadays, they learn to impress others. Chu Boyu sent a messenger to inquire after Confucius. Confucius bade him to be seated and asked what his master was doing. The messenger said, my master is trying to lessen his failings and not yet quite successful. When the messenger was out, Confucius said, what a messenger! What a messenger! The master said, do not interfere into the matter you are not in a position to. Master Xing said, even in his thoughts, an intelligent gentleman should not interfere into the matter he is not in a position to. An intelligent gentleman, said the master, is ashamed that his words outrun his deeds. The master said, an intelligent gentleman is 3 in 1, but I am none. A good man should be carefree, a wise man should be doubt-free, and a brave man should be fearless. Master Xing said, our master has told us what he is. Zigong was always criticizing others. The master said, Zigong, are you good enough? As for me, I have no leisure to criticize others. Be not afraid, said the master, that you are unknown, but that you are unable. Do not think in advance, said the master, that people are deceiving you nor that they do not believe you. Undeceived and believed at once, you would be sagacious. Wei Xingmu said to Confucius, "What are you busy about here and there? Are you a glib talker?" Confucius said, "Not that I am glib, but that I do not like to be stiff." A steed is good, said the master, not for its strength, but for its quality. When asked whether good should be returned for evil, the master said, "What then should be returned for good? Justice should be returned for evil and good for good." The master said, "It is a pity that none understands me." Master Zheng asked why. The master said, "I do not complain against heaven and lay no blame on man. I only learn laws human and divine. But only heaven understands me." Gongbo Liao spoke against Zilu to the chief of the Ji family. Zifu Yingbo told the master that the chief was deluded by Gongbo Liao, and that he still had power to put Gongbo Liao to death. The master said, "It is heaven's will whether my way will be followed or not. What could Gongbo Liao do against heaven's will?" The master said, "A good man would retire first from a bad society, next from a bad place, next from bad looks, next from bad words." Then he added, "There are 7 good men who have already done so." Zilu passed one night at the stone gate. Next morning the gatekeeper asked him where he came from. He said, "From Confucius." The gatekeeper said, "Is it the man who would try the impossible?" The master was playing on a musical stone in the state of Wei when a man bearing a basket passed by his door. The man said, "His heart must be full to beat the musical stone in such a way." Then he said, "Is it worthwhile to show oneself off? What matters if one is unknown or unrecognized? If water's shallow, leap, and strip if it is deep." The master said, "If so, it would not be difficult to find a way out." Zizhang said, "It is said in the book of history that the High Emperor of Yin did not talk in the shed of mourning for 3 years. What does this mean?" The master said, "Why should the High Emperor be mentioned in particular when all the ancients did in the same way?" After the sovereign's death, all the officials continued to hold their office and took orders from the prime minister for 3 years. So long as the ruler observes the ritual, said the master, the people will be obedient. When Zilu asked about an intelligent gentleman, the master said, he should cultivate himself and do his duty with respect. When asked whether it was all, the master said, he should cultivate himself so as to make others live in comfort. When asked again whether it was all, the master said, he should cultivate himself so as to make people live in comfort. Such is the end the sagacious emperors would have attained. Yuan Rong waited for Confucius, squatting on the heels. The master said, immodest in youth, unaccomplished in manhood and useless in old age, such a man would be a pest. He struck him on the flank with his staff. A young man carried a message for Confucius from his native village. When asked whether the messenger was good at learning, the master said, I have seen him occupy the place of an adult and walk side by side with his elders. He is not good at learning but would become a grown-up before his time.